Jar Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
Excellent jam, Ceesay.
Yo, apply. Yo, luta do dede. Luta munulo jël moto nga andil ma xaalis. Hello?
Bësal mu fine.
What?
Bësal mu fine.
Oh, yes!
Wave Accent Gambia. Deposit and withdraw money, pay bills and buy mobile credit without fees. Transfer money wherever in the country for only 1% fee. At Wave, Bësal mu fine. Wave, your money is yours.
It's Tuesday, the 26th of August 2025. It's coffee time with Peter Gomez on West Coast Radio. 5 minutes past 9 o'clock in the morning, already seated, ready to fire, if you like, is the Minister of Information Media and Broadcasting Services, Dr. Ismaila Ceesay. Welcome back.
Good morning, Peter.
We're still getting used to this longer, name for you.
We will get there.
We will get there.
Yes.
Good to see you.
Good to see you once again.
I like your jackets. They're
Thank
exclusive. You. Where do you go shopping?
It's a secret place.
It's a secret place. Welcome back. You want us to start with updates or one or two things
I have
from the...
just a few updates.
Okay.
It's not that much.
Okay.
One response and then one update, I think, which I think is worthy of the public's attention.
Okay.
That is a press release. The U.S. conviction of former death squad operative Michael Sang Korea.
Mm-hmm.
The Ministry of Justice welcomes this landmark sentencing of Michael Sang Korea by the U.S. District Court in Colorado. It marks a major step in securing justice for victims of human rights violations under the former regime. Michael Korea was sentenced to cumulatively 67.5 years. And this historic judgment reinforces the global commitment to accountability and justice for the victims of atrocious crimes. I think also it is a step forward in our transitional justice journey to make sure that all those who bore the greatest responsibility in violating or in engaging gross human rights violations under the previous regime are held accountable, but also victims feel that there is justice.
Okay.
Yeah. The second is a kind of a response. I was keenly listening to your interview yesterday with my uncle, Honorable
that's your uncle?
Darboe. Yes, he's my uncle. He's very close to my stepdad, Lamin Wajuara.
Oh, okay.
They were political allies. But as a man, I respect greatly. But yesterday, I disagreed with one or two of the things that he said. And I think it's important as a government, these are policy issues. It's important we respond to these in an appropriate manner. Now, you asked him to describe the situation of the country. And his response, and I quote, unbridled corruption and no serious attempt to abate it. He went further to say that no significant steps has been done by this government to show any seriousness in fighting corruption. But before I now outline what we are doing to abate corruption, but also the serious steps we are taking to fight corruption, I'd like to point out something which he said, and which I think I need to clarify for the purpose of the public. He said, and I quote, that a serious-minded government would have anticipated the passing of the anti-corruption bill, and underline this word in bold, anticipated, and therefore should have identified individuals to be nominated to become members of the Anti-Corruption Commission. This itself is not possible because the act itself sets in the criteria for who is eligible to be part of the commission. Therefore, it's not possible for you to anticipate that a law will be passed and you start nominating. What if the people you nominate are not eligible in line with the act? So that itself is not possible. You have to wait until the act is passed. Because the act sets the criteria for who is eligible to be in the commission. So what the government has done is that we had a very transparent, fair process. When the act was passed, we set in motion a competitive process. It was advertised to the public so that eligible Gambians who are eligible in line with the act can apply and express interest in being part of the commission.
His argument was not everybody eligible might want to apply.
That is a presumption.
But you could headhunt. He used the word headhunt.
No, but you cannot headhunt. It has to be advertised in line with the act. So it was advertised. 29 people applied. A vetting committee did a thorough vetting of these 29 people and recommended names to the president. But because of the seriousness in which we take this issue, it was also brought to cabinet. Cabinet looked at the recommendations of the vetting committee and then accepted the recommendations and gave it to the president to appoint the 3 commissioners. That is the chairperson and 2 commissioners.
Okay, so you have a problem with the word anticipate.
You cannot anticipate. It's not possible because you wouldn't know who is eligible and who's not eligible. But I just want to now, because he said that the act was passed in 2024 and yet we are not serious in constituting the commission. I want to inform the public now. The process has gone very far. Nominations has been done. The vetting committee has submitted their recommendations to cabinet. Cabinet has transmitted to the president. Now the president is now going to appoint the recommended persons and then sends it to the National Assembly for confirmation. So the process has gone far.
Okay.
That is one. So coming to the issue about unbridled, if I may borrow his term, corruption and no serious attempt to abate it. But also saying that no significant steps has been done to fight corruption in this country. Let me just, if you permit me, I'll just give you what we've done as a government.
You have 1 hour.
For the public to,
you have 1 hour, Dr.
I think it's important for us to lead, because I'm happy that, in fact, when you asked him, in fact, I celebrated. When you asked him, what is wrong in this country? He didn't tell you that the healthcare sector is failing. He didn't, because he knows that we've done a lot of investments in healthcare sector is working. He didn't tell you that the education sector is failing, because he knows that what we've done there. He didn't tell you the roads are bad, because he knows the infrastructural transformation we've done in this country. He didn't tell you farmers are suffering, because he knows we are supporting farmers. He didn't tell you that there is poverty to the extent that people are dying of hunger. He didn't tell you that. He didn't tell you any failing in this country, because he knows that everything else is working. The only thing that he could put his fingers on is corruption. But again, like I said, if that is the only problem, then there is no problem, because government has taken serious steps. Now, what we've done since 2017 as an administration, we've pursued comprehensive reforms which are geared towards fighting corruption, but also to modernize the management of public finances. And the results are very visible. For example, a corruption perception index has improved from a score of 30 in 2017 when President Barrow came to power, 30 out of 100. And we are ranked 130th globally in 2017 to a score of 38 out of 100 with a global rank of 96th out of 180 countries. So this is a significant leap from number 130 out of 180 countries in 2017 to 96.
34 places.
Yes, and a score of from 30 over 100 to 38 over 100.
8-point improvement.
Yes, but at the sub-regional level, we're above average. Globally, we are still working hard to make sure that we become leaders in this particular perception.
Leaders?
Of course, that's what we are working towards. Now, this improvement is supported by new legislative measures such as the passing of the anti-corruption law, the passing of the ATI law, but also some of our new public finance reforms. We are now accelerating reforms in public financial management to align with international best practices and ensure that every dollar of public funds is managed in an efficient, transparent, and accountable manner. I just now outline some of the things we've done, just quickly.
You have 1 hour.
Number one, I want the public to listen and take note.
You're really prepared for this, aren't you?
A new public finance management bill is being prepared and it's at the level of the National Assembly, I think. This will replace the existing one, and this will create a very modern budgeting system, expenditure control, debt management, and fiscal reporting. This will transform the public finance management system in this country. Number 2, the newly elected SOE Commission, and you know about them. It was established, it's an independent SOE Commission to oversee all parastatals and improve corporate governance. The SOE Commission is also supporting the planned efforts to strengthen budgetary processes and SOE supervision. Number 3, we have also made efforts to improve the integrity and transparency of procurement, and the recruitment systems have been undertaken. A new procurement act has been adopted, supported by the rollout of an e-procurement platform to reduce corruption risks, shorten procurement cycles, and enhance competition. That is a fact, it is there. But also, the Gambia Revenue Authority is making continued efforts to strengthen its internal processes and continues its digitization efforts by full automation of its processes in customs, and efforts are underway to fully digitalize the current domestic tax administration system to an integrated tax administration system called ITAS. And we've seen that visibility is there. And I'll give you the figures very soon. Also, we've amended the Central Bank Act of 2018 and strengthened central bank governance and autonomy, which established a stronger foundation to further enhance central bank governance and operations. A new banking bill has been drafted to modernize supervision, strengthen prudential standards, but also improve risk management in the financial sector. That is why it's not possible anymore for the president to send people to the central bank late at night with bags to receive money because of these robust measures we put in place as a government.
When did Barrow stop doing that?
He never did it, in fact.
Who did?
The previous government did it. Now, we have also empowered, and that this is the icing on the cake. We've empowered the National Audit Office. We've empowered it. Its mandate has been expanded, enabling audits of public departments across all MDAs, and public reporting of these results, and enforcement of corrective actions. For example, some of these criminal cases, several of them are corruption related from the audit reports, have been initiated and referred to the Attorney General Chambers for prosecution. That includes the GIA, the IEC, particularly the IEC, the Gambia Ports Authority, and so on and so forth. And these were triggered by the government. These reforms have not only strengthened the Gambia's public finance management framework, Peter, but have also translated into tangible benefits for citizens. Improved fiscal discipline, more efficient expenditure control, and stronger revenue administration have led to a marked increase in government revenue. This is also visible. GRA revenue grew from $7.97 billion in 2017 to $20.85 billion in 2024.
Almost triple.
Exactly. Registering an annual average growth rate of 15.2%. And overall revenue collection grew by 162%. That's whopping. These funds have been channeled into visible infrastructure.
Roads.
Your London corner, you see the new road we are building around Safidin. Projects such as upgraded roads, expanded energy access, and modernized public facilities that directly enhance economic activity and quality of life. The government of the Gambia categorically denounces corruption and all forms of corruption. And I'll say this here. We denounce all forms of corruption and impropriety. And we are fully committed to upholding the rule of law without fear or favor. That is why anybody named or mentioned for any financial impropriety or acting in a manner which violates the public finance laws, the law is dealing with you. So I just want my uncle to know that this statement that no serious efforts have been done by this government, or significant efforts, if I may borrow his phrase, is unfair, but also saying that the unbridled corruption in this country goes unabated is unfair. All these are measures we've taken to fight corruption, and we're even going to take stronger measures because we believe as a government that corruption is a cancer to development. It will also impede our vision to transform this country. So therefore, we are doing everything possible to do two things in tandem, Peter. That is, to enforce the law and arrest and prosecute and jail people who are found wanting of corruption. But we think that is not enough deterrence. But also to build the right systems and processes and oversight institutions and strengthen them in our drive to help us fight corruption. For us, these two in tandem will help us fight corruption.
All right. So very soon, President Barrow will approve an anti-corruption commission, which we hope will...
He will appoint, but National Assembly will confirm.
Okay. Okay. All right. You mentioned the IEC. Where's that case?
It's with the AG chambers.
Okay.
Because the police are done with their investigation. So now it's with the AG chambers for review and advice and potential prosecution.
Okay. All right. Dr. Ceesay is with us, 77-11599. Not many questions from me this morning, hopefully, so that we can squeeze in as many from the public as possible. One coming in straight from Nairobi. Good morning, Mr. Gomez and the Honorable Minister. I commend the government for the arrest of the women in connection with the baby that died because of FGM. But why did the government not do the same when more than 60 innocent babies died? No arrest was made and no one was taken to court. I don't know whether families were even compensated. But more than that, 20 youths were remanded just because they were fighting against oppression, which is very sad and unfair. I heard the minister last week saying Pura is trying to avoid slow internet connection and is like he agrees with them. If Gamtel is not privatized, this internet issue will never be solved. In Senegal, almost all compounds with Wi-Fi provided by Sonatel, and the internet is cheaper there and in Kenya than Gambia, and they are more populated than us.
Well, I think he's made many
starting with the arrest of the lady who was accused of dumping a baby.
I think not dumping. I think it has to do with the 2-year-old child who died.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
1 month old child who died from
1 month old baby who died from
Government
FGM.
has condemned this in the strongest terms, and we are enforcing the law.
But why didn't you do the same when more than 70? He says.
But the case is in the court. It's in the court.
That is the
I think the wrong statement is no, but no. The case is in the courts right now. The families are taken.
Yeah, that's the AKI case.
It's in the courts. Yeah, so it's in the courts. So for his information, the case is in the courts, and talking about the arrest of the protesters, I cannot comment. The case is now sub judice. It's in the courts. It is now for the courts to deal with. But broadly speaking. Our position is that the country is a country of laws. We don't mind young people expressing their concerns, but also participating in the public discourse or in the politics of this country. We listen to their concerns and we are with them, but they must follow the law. If you want to protest or you want to assemble, seek the right permit, and government will give it to you and protect you. That is why we give the permit, to protect you. The history so far has shown that the government the police has been giving permits. You remember the first Gala protest, the second one, government gave them permit. Recently, the UDP came out last weekend to protest against the issuance of ID cards abroad. Government gave them permit. The police gave them permit. So the police are here to protect the citizens. The police are here to enforce the law. But the police are also here to protect the rights of those who are not protesting. So the right you have to protest is the right others have to live in peace as well. So when you protest, seek the right permit. The police will give you do an assessment of the security situation, and they think that it's no threat to national security. They'll give you the permit. When you give them, they'll protect you, and you can go and do your thing, and then within the parameters of the law. But what we want to advise people in this country is not to take the law into their own hands or to break the law by coming out to protest without a permit. It's not helping anybody. But when it comes to this particular case, it's sub judice at the moment. It's in the courts, and I cannot comment on it.
So he says he heard you say last week that Pura is trying to avoid slow internet connection, and you agree, or rather he agrees, or you agree with Pura. You agree with Pura's argument that they are intervening in this data price war just to make sure they avoid slowing the internet
No,
down?
I never specifically said the reason why they did is to avoid slowing. What I said is that, and it's very simple, PURA is a regulator. And as a regulator, they are a competent authority to regulate the market of the telcos. And if PURA, in their own judgment, and in executing their job, their mandate as a regulator, tries to balance the interests of these three key stakeholders in the market, which is the MNOs themselves, which is the government as a stakeholder, which is the consumers, their interests, those their regulation. I think we need to understand that and engage them to understand further what is the rationale behind the regulation. I'm not saying that what PURA is doing is wrong or right. What I'm saying is they are the regulator and a competent authority to regulate. Okay. And I think when they regulate, there should be a reason why they should do, because PURA's responsibility is to ensure there's no market failure. PURA's responsibility is to ensure the long-term viability of the MNOs themselves. PURA's mandate is to ensure government interest is preserved. PURA's mandate is to ensure consumers' interest is also protected. So PURA has to do this balancing act, and in doing their job, they make decisions that might not be either comfortable with the MNOs themselves, sometimes with the consumers.
MNO is mobile network operators.
Yes. So obviously, what I said is that PURA is a competent authority. They know why they are doing what they are doing. They're setting a floor on this. Maybe they know what we don't know because they're a competent authority.
And just to finish off, if Gamtel is not privatized, this internet issue will never be solved. And then he gave the example of Senegal, Wi-Fi in every home, but that does not affect, easy access to the internet. He also gave the example of Kenya, and both countries have larger populations than the Gambia. Why are we still struggling?
Well, if you go by population, remember in business scale is important. The more
so until we get to the size of Senegal,
I'm
Kenya, the internet will not be as good as in Senegal.
I'm not saying that. I'm just going by his argument. I say if he's going by that argument, but like I said. Government is working on something when it comes to that end in terms of making sure that Gamtel has some private operations as well. That is a government policy which we are working on, and that was taken in
private operations or privatizing.
Privatizing parts of Gamtel, not entire privatized, but at least some private engagement. I'm not sure with the right, but Gamtel we are heading towards that. That was a cabinet policy on that. But what I can tell you is that even if you privatize Gamtel. What is important is that the telecom market is deregulated currently. There's competition in the market. I think what we urge the existing MNOs, is to invest more in their infrastructure to boost quality, but also to find ways to work with PURA to make sure that consumers get value for money. And that is government policy, and that is what government's priority is. That is why this issue, the president takes it very seriously, and as yesterday convened a high-level meeting to discuss the issue and find a way forward to this so that consumers' interest is protected at all times. And that is our policy. That is our position as a government, that consumers' interest must be protected at all times. And we are working towards that.